Hi, so I just finished reading Blind Willow, Sleeping Woman by Murakami. Interesting thing about this book is I actually started reading this book a while ago and I forgot it somewhere. Then I lost anymore. I lost my flow, so I left it. I got this book back a few months ago and I started reading it again. I'll just start from the beginning and then finish it off. Say, read it off. So I finally finished it. So Blind Willow, Sleeping Woman by Murakami is a collection of, I mean, there are about 26 short stories. Um, and I guess my favorite would be The Iceman and Man Eating Cats and top three pick the version and The Mirror. I like The Mirror, The Iceman, and Man Eating Cats because I find those stories very relatable in certain aspects a little bit. I'm not gonna say that all of it I really relate to, but I find it relatable to a certain extent. And so what I like about the book is that it's very easy to pick up and put down. So because continue, but something over since it's short stories, I can just pick it up, finish the story, and keep it. Doesn't feel like I'm leaving anything hanging incomplete there when usually when I read novels and other books, when I read it and then finally when I have to leave it, like because something came up or because I'm sleepy, like I always feel like I'm just leaving something midway somewhere. So this book doesn't feel that way because, like I said, short stories. So I really like that about it. And what I dislike about the book is that there's so many lonely men in this book. I feel like this book is majority of it is lonely men, and I just feel so bad about it. Okay, I am going to try and not touch my hair from now on because I someone told me that I touch my hair a lot in the videos. I think I do that. I don't know why I do that. Okay, coming back. Okay, forget the tangent. Coming back. So, what I don't like about the book is there's so many lonely men. Why are men so lonely in this book? And it's so sad. And the emotional theme I feel is so repetitive because it's loneliness. It's yeah. So there are lonely men. There's sadness. There are the relationships that don't work out. So that's what I don't like about it. Now, what I think are the themes of this book is loneliness, like I said, isolation, ambiguity. So I feel that if you are someone who likes to ponder on about life, who likes to think about the meaning of existence and like to reflect on things and try to understand life and all that, I think this book is for you. Now the reason, so I said I like three short stories more: Man Eating Cats, The Mirror, and The Iceman. So let me start with Iceman. Iceman is basically a story about how a person falls in love with an iceman, a man who's literally made of ice. I mean, not literally in the sense that physically he's not made of ice, but his core, his soul is made up of ice. So now what I mean when I say that is that if you put him near a heater, he's not gonna melt. He's made out of ice, but not in that manner. His being is made out of ice, but his physicality is not ice. And she falls in love with him and they try to have, it's a relationship that is not supported by her family. He doesn't have families. He doesn't know where he comes from. The relationship is not supported by her family, but still they try to work it out. Then one day she suggests that they go to the South Pole for a trip, and then they do, and that's where the Iceman finds his family, and then she gets pregnant and they don't come back. Then the second story is Man Eating Cats. So the Man Eating Cats, it starts off with a couple who are in a Greek island. I don't know which one, but they're in a Greek island and they're just reading to each other and newspaper. And then they read that an owner was eaten by the cats because they died and the cats got hungry. The interesting thing is the couple, they start off, they're basically affair partners. Okay, they cheat on their original spouses and they get together and they decide, oh, we can't stay in Japan now, let's go. So they move to a Greek island. And they try to start life there, but in the end, in the at the end of the story, this the lady, the wife, the now wife, is gone, and the man cannot find her, can't find her, and he doesn't even like, he doesn't go around looking for her either. So it's, he just like accepts the fact that she's gone. And Miragi, it's really interesting. I found it really interesting because it's a story told by, from the perspective of night watchman. So it's a story told by a person who used to work as a night watchman at school. But so he says that it's a very easy job. He just makes a few rounds, and he comes back and listens to radio and does what he has to do, and just passes the night cell and everything. He says it's a pretty easy job. Then one day there's a storm, sort of a storm brewing, and then he's making his usual round. Then suddenly he hears something, and then he looks, and then there's like a monstrosity looking at him, like not an actual monster, but something that ooh, the shock effect is there. He goes ooh, silabbe. It's not because it's something that can be that can be called a typical monster nightmarish thing, but it's like he looks at the mirror, it's sort of him, but it's not him. So it's not exactly a ghost story, but I think I think the Murakami is just trying to talk about how your psychological, how your mind can be a plays a big part in how you perceive yourself. Basically, yeah, so I like this mirror because I was like, yeah, it does make sense because sometimes we see things that aren't there, or we tend to look for things that aren't there, just so that we can make sense of things in a way that makes sense to us. Then second, man eating cats, they, sometimes people leave, things just happen, and it's okay. And Iceman, they, just because what from my personal perspective, just because something feels right doesn't mean it's always right. Yeah, so overall I like Murakami, the Blind Willow's Sleeping Woman. I'm not a very big fan of reading short stories, but I enjoyed it.